So, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, the community of Accelerator Frankfurt. It's 1:05 CET Frankfurt time. Welcome, everybody who are joining us on this live stream once again, and those who watch it later on as well, welcome. We are joined once again by our lovely female founders, the entrepreneurs. It's been an amazing week so far. Last week they've presented to two of our mentors, and today the ladies are going to present to three investors, three very experienced people, both in startup investing as well as in the VC industry. So I want to thank our mentors for taking the time for being here today. We'll do a short round of each mentor. Please give us your background. Why do you qualify to be a mentor at Accelerator Frankfurt? What makes you experienced enough to be here? So we'll start with the lady first, Tatjana Wild, all the way from Munich, right?
Right. Thank you so much, Rem, for inviting me. And I'm very happy to be here and proud to see so many ladies among founders. And I think I would like to encourage you to not to stop, but to do more entrepreneurship. So what about myself? I'm a fintech partner with Tiburon Unternehmensaufbau GmbH. We are a venture capital German-American boutique. We are based in Munich, and we are on the German or on the market since 18 years, and we have done more than 120 investments. Originally I was born and grew up in Russia, and then I moved to Germany in the 90s, and my first employer was SAP. So after that I worked for many years for strategic management consulting companies for financial services industry, and later on for different banks in Western and Eastern Europe, as a vice president or interim board member, mostly in the retail business. Then for the last 5 years, I'm a fintech partner with Tiburon, and we were invested, for example, in Smava, and exited it, and have another fintech portfolio companies. And also I support as a senior advisor the Quantum Partners. They are M&A boutique for tech and fintech companies. So happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Tatjana. Yes, you're a true fintech expert, I have to say, and it's been extremely valuable having you as a mentor for our startups in the past. I think you've been since Wave 2 or Wave 1, but very early on.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
Very good. So welcome.
I invested in one of your, I think the Wave 2 companies, Align.
Yes, Align. Wave 1, actually. So
Wave 1, yes.
And it's actually one of our biggest success stories. Align are doing
so much, yeah. I'm still shareholder, so.
Yes, very good, excellent. Yeah. So thank you very much, Jaakko from Finland. Welcome, also one of our first mentors all the way from the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. I think it was 2016 October or something like that when we first started the first round of Accelerated Frankfurt. Mm-hmm. It's always nice to be back in Frankfurt because, you know, I used to live there for almost 20 years ago. I always like to go back. About myself, I've been an angel investor for roughly 10 years now, invested in a couple of dozen companies so far, made a few nice exits, a couple of bankruptcies in my portfolio. Happy to say that my portfolio is on black figures, so I'm doing profit already, which is not always that common. But I'm happy about that. For the last 5 years almost, I've been a partner in a financial advisory company called Cranenfeld Finance. We specialize in growth and startup companies funding, especially debt funding, but also some equity funding. Years ago, I used to be in a couple of software companies as a partner and CEO and VP, and we made exits out of both of those, and that sort of got me started in angel investing originally.
And
that's
you
it
were
in a
also
nutshell.
a chairman of the Finnish Business Angel Network.
Yeah,
right?
I was on the board of Finnish Business Angels Network for 5 years and chairman for a couple of years.
Awesome. I think that's how you got in touch with Maria, and then it all came together, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Excellent, Jaakko. Thank you very much. I hope this year you made a nice exit. I know you were very busy early in the year working on it. Was it?
I did actually. Yeah, just last week I did a secondary exit. I didn't sell all my shares because that company is growing like crazy. So I expect to do more. But yeah.
Very nice to hear. Excellent. Okay, and now from Israel, my good friend and one person who really helped Accelerator Frankfurt even before it began. Michael is he's running A2B Accelerator in Jerusalem. I will let you introduce, but basically we partnered with A2B Accelerator and took their format into Accelerator Frankfurt when we first began. So we owe you big time for our success. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here at Accelerator Frankfurt once more for the eighth round, right?
Yes, eighth wave.
Unbelievable. And what a panel. Thank you, Tatjana and Jaakko. What a nice work arts you have behind you, and what kind of an amazing background and you have. So my name is Michael. I'm the head of the Research, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship Authority at Azrieli College. It's a college in the center of Jerusalem, just across the road from the Hebrew University. Within we have Accelerator, A2B Accelerator. We are helping students, alumni, faculty members to develop their idea into a startup company. We're doing it for the last 7 years. Also very proud to be partnered with Accelerator Frankfurt from the very beginning. We built in the Accelerator 59 companies raising $35 million with an amazing success rate in terms of the pre-seed stage. Both in numbers and about 80% of our companies is raising money. And I'm also chief analyst in a VC called Launch It Capital. We invested in 31 companies, and in the same room we are sitting together with 2 other VCs that we are collaborating with. So I'm also consulting the Laxiel family fund and a big insurance company that is also buying startups. I'm writing reports about startups. Startups is actually in and around me. I'm seeing 600 of them every year. Pleasure to be here, and I hope you'll benefit from my 5 cents over here.
Excellent, Michael. Thank you so much. And also your VC Launch It Capital did invest in some of our portfolio companies as well, right?
Yes, and as far as I understand, still successful. So
excellent.
A good idea.
Very good. Okay, without further ado, I just want to remind you, this is a female founders program. We wanted to make it accessible for every female founder, regardless if it's fintech or not. and regardless of geographic scope, we selected these 4 female founders out of the many that applied, mainly because we feel that they could really collaborate with each other. They had enough diversity within this group, and one of the key secret sauces, I would say, of Accelerator Frankfurt is selecting teams that can push each other and help each other. And this is proven a good method, I have to say. The ladies will testify on that but for themselves. Thumbs up, anybody? Very good. So let's get going. We're going to start with Anu. Anu, where are you sitting at the moment? I see there's snow outside the window. Is that true?
Yes, I decided to take an escape to Lapland, and so I'm working remotely from Levi next to a skiing slope, enjoying really nice views around here.
Wow, beautiful. Okay, so please get started. You have about 20 minutes. Share your screen, and let's make it interactive, a conversation, not just a pitch. So please feel free to jump in, anyone, and ask your questions.
Absolutely. Let me see. I'll try to make it. Do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Yep.
Perfect. Let me see if I can make it there. Really nice to have the opportunity to talk to you and hopefully get your inputs. My background, my name is Honkalinna. My background is 15 years in insurance business. I've been leading some of the global insurance giants, legal and compliance departments in the Northern Europe area, companies like AXA, Genworth Financial. And having seen that for a while, I jumped over to startup side a couple of years back. I used to mentor startups, especially fintech startups, from kind of legal point of view, and kind of got the spark from there, and that I wanted to try it out myself.
You're a lawyer, right? You're educated as a
Absolutely, yes. My background is legal, and basically I've now been involved in setting up FinTech Finland Association. I've been doing a lot of that part. I've been also a part of a couple of startups, and then this is my second startup that I'm putting together. And the reason being that I thought that now I've been exercising a bit with others, and this is something that I know by heart. This is in the core of what I've been doing for 15 years. So my idea is around digital lifestyle protection insurance, and how should I put it? The current product and current landscape for lifestyle protection products is that this product came out around 90s, and there is the distribution strategy today still is very face-to-face with the lender of the loan that the person is looking for a insurance cover for. Distribution is very prone to problems in mis-selling because it's individual based. The standardizing of the selling is challenging, and there is basically no competition in the market, because the consumers only can get today these products from their lenders. If they are looking for a mortgage product, or if they're looking for a car loan, credit card, whatever, they only get an offer basically today from their lender, or alternatively a small share comes from the loan aggregators. This means that the product and the distribution is very often actually built to satisfy the lenders, not really the end consumers. So the products are quite old-fashioned. If you look at the covers that are included, like unemployment cover, it's built to the job market of 90s, not 2020. And there is, as everybody knows, there is a really big change happening in the employment market, to different projects, to different, much more flexibility in the market. And today's insurance product for lifestyle protection, it really doesn't cater too much for those kind of employment types.
What do you mean? What do you mean by lifestyle protection? I like the word. I think I know what you mean, but maybe for ones who hear this for the first time.
Good comment. Lifestyle protection usually is built up by different insurance covers, including unemployment, short-term disability or sickness, then long-term sickness types of covers. It could be consisting of critical illnesses. It could be also consisting of life covers. It typically is, currently it's sold in, each lender has their own product composition. It could be a mix of these covers. It could be, usually the lenders are offering two packages. One of them is without life and long-term sickness, and the other one is with those covers. And then they kind of move around a bit to distinguish themselves from the lender next door. So that is more driven by the lenders, how these products are combined, than actually the needs of the end consumers. This also leads to the fact that the terms and conditions are quite complex. I have a fair share of that legacy that I'm kind of, I have participated in building. And the reason for that is very often that the product, the terms and conditions, the materials, they are built together with a lender, and they have a view how they should look. And also the very large insurance companies, they usually are not so easy to change their ways of building things, because, well, it takes time, it takes a bit of a risk, and so on to modify the traditional way of doing things. And all of this I've seen over the years actually leads to a very dissatisfied consumers, because they don't quite often understand what they have bought, because of the wordings are unclear or too long, or includes a lot of technical wordings. And just think about a consumer who's there happily having had a mortgage, is buying a house of their dreams, doing a lot of decoration in the house already. They're not that interested at that stage really to look at the risks and the what if my spouse dies, or if I get unemployed. They're usually in a happy phase in their lives when they're taking a new mortgage or car loan or something that they are really looking forward to. So this means that the kind of attention span of the consumer is not very good at this stage to look at the details of the insurance. Mm-hmm. And this is where we want to come in and kind of put this product as a more central piece than it currently is in the selling and distribution channel strategy. We want to offer a product to the market where currently there is no competition, because only the lender sold products are really available to, in this market. And so the products are, as I mentioned earlier, they are very often driven by the banks, how they want to offer the product to their consumers. Based on our experience, we know what actually the consumers need. We know what they would need, but there is no place to buy that product. So we have started this whole product from a different angle, from the angle that what the consumers actually need, and then to build a flexible product for them where they can choose different covers, different amounts, different kind of even claim period types, because they are very standardized today. It's typically a maximum of 12-month cover period, whereas if you think that a person with, let's say, UX coding skills, game design skills, whatever, which is very scarce today, they know that they will get a new job in a couple of months. Maybe they want to take a bit of a break in between, and they only need 6 months cover instead of the full 12 months, compared to some of the other areas where people need more. So we want to really offer a personalized product for individual needs and with a better price. The market today is very strongly driven by the banks, and it's not a big secret that they do take their share in between from distributing these products. So we want to also build a better product with a better price. We also want to do a full-scale legal design, UX design, to drive the customer to understand better what they're buying. There is a short questionnaire, easy to answer, that leads the person to get a recommended insurance cover product. And if they want to make changes to the recommended product, they will get a advised kind of customer journey, where there will be pop-up screens saying that, do you understand that if you change this part, that means that your cover is going to be, let's say, 6 months instead of 12 months, and so on. We want to use the digitalization capabilities of today to mold the product and to get that product up to the needs of today, not 30 years back when this product was introduced. And that means the full scale, from UX design to gamification to using chatbots, everything else that is available today. It doesn't mean that we wouldn't think of the product and risk responsibly. That is in the core of everything that we do. My partner has 30 years of experience as a risk and pricing director in both in the US, Canada, in Europe. So he's very experienced in that front. My expertise on the legal and compliance side will help that we're able to build a product that is still compliant, but with a modernized twist. We want to also offer a very good quality of sales through the digital channels, where it's easier to build a standardized sales process compared to the ones of today, where it's always down to the person who's selling the face-to-face product, or telesales in some of the occasions. But that always comes down to how seriously the person has understood the requirements of compliance, information sharing, and so on. Whereas through the digital channel, it's much easier to standardize the good quality sales, where the information is always the same and cannot kind of be that easily subject to misunderstandings. Is there any comments at this stage? Any questions?
Later on, maybe, from my side. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think that in terms of Anu, what you're working on is super relevant, but for some reason it's a bit failing to come across, in my opinion. And we're here to learn. This is not now anything that we just praise and so forth. But what I understood in very simple terms, what is the problem? Maybe
problem
instead of me telling you, maybe I ask you, what is the problem really?
The problem is the product is not fit for today. It's distributed wrongly, and the price is too high. So this is the core problem that we're doing again. What we're going to offer to the market, a much better product that suits the customers' needs. They can choose themselves. They are the best who know what they need, what is their life situation, instead of a bank giving them a too expensive product with unflexible terms and cover types. That is in kind of
one comment.
Yeah.
I would actually go back to the product itself, because it does seem that it's a little bit vague and unclear what the product really is. You talk about lifestyle insurance, but to be quite honest, that doesn't tell very much for me, for example. That would have to be cleared up front a bit better, I think.
Okay.
Well, what happened to PPI? You used PPI always, the private, what was it? Personal protection insurance, no?
Payment protection insurance.
Payment protection insurance.
Payment protection insurance, it has a bit of a history there. In UK, Ireland especially, there was a bit of a catastrophe some 7-8 years back, where the banks were too greedy There were a lot of mis-selling of the product. There were a lot of problems with it. And currently in those islands, it's even it's a close to swear word if you use PPI or payments protection insurance. That is one part of it. And I think the covering the lifestyle of a person is more closer to how I want to see the product, which is ensuring that you can still, when the kind of life's uncertainties happen, when you get unemployed, when you get sick, you still are able to keep your life standard to where it was before you kind of got ill or unemployed.
And I think that's the story you should be telling up front. That would tell us a bit better, you know, what this whole thing is about.
Good point. I'll reformulate that a bit better for the next version. Sounds good.
And why do you say it's distributed wrongly?
I think it's basically the core distribution problem there is that because it's lender linked always, so that serves the purposes of the lender more than the actual individual, and that comes down to the whole composition of the product, to the price, and how it's being distributed. So what we want to do is to offer a comparative, a competitive product that the people can go outside their lenders today, which is the only place where they can actually buy this product today, which is one part of the reason why it's distributed kind of, and the whole kind of setup is a bit distorted, if I put it that way, because it serves the interest of the distributor more than the end consumer who's buying the product.
And when you say lender, I suppose you mean the provider of the insurance?
No, the provider of the loan. So it's quite often if a bank offers a mortgage, they do offer the LPI, PPI product kind of attached to that quite often. If it's a car loan, the car loan provider being a finance company quite often, like the likes of Santander's, they would offer the product as well. If it's a credit card provider, there is a number of those who the banks are offering a LPI product to. But it's never the insurance company that offers these. It's always the bank or the financial institution.
Anna, one question from I have not only one, but my first question is, what I did not understood, what exactly you want to build up? If you take the whole value chain of insurance business, are you a product developer, or are you and a range? You need to have reinsurance company, I think, behind you. Otherwise, it's very difficult to offer insurance to the customers. So it means if you build here front end to the customer and digital onboarding process, I suppose you want to do this, and then you have your own product. What organization is behind you? Do you have already reinsurance companies who is backing you, or how do you?
Yeah, good question. So basically how we're building this up is that we are currently, nearly signed contracts with a couple of insurance companies who are going to front that risk, not just reinsure it. So we're not going to be a insurance company ourselves. We're going to be an MGA as a starting point. So
now I understand, Miia. What exactly are you doing? You are like an aggregator of products, and some of the products are yours? Oh,
they are designed by us, basically. We need to get an approval from the insurance company that they approve the risk that we are rolling over to them. But that is how we've built this, that we're kind of, we want to get the decision-making possibilities on the risk to a certain extent, but it's natural that the insurance companies who are going to carry the risk, they will have to finally approve what we're doing.
Okay, so you are like a product development department, or
and sales.
It doesn't matter, but you develop new digital products for other insurance companies.
Yes, and we're also going to sell that. So we're the sales channel as well.
Through digital channels, or how do you?
Yes, digital channels, yes.
Okay. One more question.
Yeah.
I would think that when you take out a mortgage or a car loan or something like that, the protection for payment is offered immediately as you take the loan.
Yes.
So it's very tightly knit with the loan, you know, time-wise and process-wise.
Yes.
How do you think you're going to get there in between? Are you going to replace the existing payment protection, or are you after customers who don't have payment protection?
Very, very good comments and questions there. I'm not that far yet in the presentation, okay. But it's kind of, I can jump there. So the go-to-market strategy is basically what we're trying to do is to come with a competitive offer to the banks that are offering it today. How we're going to do that, of course, is a good question, because this has never been done earlier direct to consumer. It's always from insurance company to the bank, and who then sells the product forward. So what we want to do is to kind of skip the bank part. We want to go directly to the end consumer, and we want to offer a competitive product. And as you were very correctly identifying there, it's very critical to time-wise to find the person either before they have already taken the loan, when they're looking at the house, when they're looking at the car, when they're looking at the kind of thing that they want to finance from a bank or from a finance institution. So we want to identify those people before they go and take the loan, or alternatively after that they have taken the loan. We have been lucky enough to get this is not yet public, so I can't disclose who it is, but we have a commitment from I would say the best growth hacker in the Nordics, who is joining our team once we go live with this, to kind of test in an agile way how we're able to find those. So we have a plan to we have a platform identified, we have everything identified, so that we are able to test on a weekly basis, even daily basis if we need to, what works in identifying the people through search engine optimization, through growth hacking, what is wrong in the sales channel if something doesn't go through. So we're able to design the UX immediately, differently. We have gamification experts who are helping us in designing this sales channel to make sure that it's streamlined enough that the people don't get stuck, bored, whatever in the sales journey.
One very important point that you, perhaps the first point you should address is, correct me if I'm wrong, it's EU regulation that when somebody takes a loan, the seller of this payment protection insurance, which is probably the bank or whoever, cannot just offer their own product. They need to offer a range of competing products as well, which means yes, they need to offer you. And I yes, think that's critical. This is how they, right?
This is very good point as well. Yes, so they do have to, based on the current IDD directive, the banks, they will have to share information about competitive insurances when they offer their own, especially if they require or kind of make it a requirement to have the insurance to offer the to offer their own loan product. So that's also something that we're trying to use as a selling tool, that they will have to say, okay, here are two competitive insurances. If you take ours, it's going to cost you X, and the competitive insurance is looking a bit different and most likely a bit cheaper. So this is also the other selling point. Thank you for raising that, Ram.
Do you think that'll make banks potential partners for you?
It might. We're not really looking forward to going there, because the goal that the thing that I always wanted to do when selling these insurances through banks earlier is to cut the banks out. So it's not in the core of what we're planning to do, because that is also a bit of a challenge for scalability, because the negotiation, the kind of account management on the bank side, it's very time consuming and resource kind of consuming effort to manage those lines. So it's much more easier to scale it up, because then the variety of the products that you have, they are always tailor-made for the bank's needs and so on. So the version control of the product is going to be much more challenging and resource impacted by having a number of distribution partners. It doesn't mean that we wouldn't look at certain optimal distribution partners, but they are not necessarily banks. Mm-hmm. The market has, in the recent years, it has actually moved back from insurance company driven to in-house captive driven market in a number of countries in the Nordics, especially, where quite a few banks have taken this product in-house to their own insurance captives. Mm-hmm. So that also drives the kind of change in the market that has happened. But we want to kind of give a serious competitive product for the bank distributed ones.
Okay, let's try and wrap this in 4 minutes. I'm just being conscious of time.
Absolutely.
What other? Okay, so then you have the.
I think we went through the competitors in a fairly. AXA, Genworth Financial used to, my old employers, they used to kind of dominate the market in the Northern Europe, especially in the Nordic area. Now the captives are more in the space. And I think this is something I went through the backgrounds already fairly strongly, who were kind of the key players in the team. Mm-hmm. But this is something I want to kind of leave you with. This is about the 3x growth that we're looking for. If you look at from the gross written premium side or the policies sold, this is only built for the northern 4 Nordic countries, so not including Germany, other countries that we have been looking as well. So I believe that this is a very, very kind of good market to step into with a new product. Mm-hmm. I think that's...
How far are you now? How far you are? Do you have products already?
Here, we are basically in the situation where we are, I hope that in the next few weeks, we're going to sign our the kind of underwriting contracts with the insurance companies. We have the product is already, which is already initially designed. The wordings needs to be finalized, but that's the kind of next step. The license application and company registration, we're hoping to file before year end, subject to the kind of finalizing the negotiations with insurance companies. And we have already the platforms identified, negotiated the financial terms and timetables, so we know what it takes to go live. And the team is already there and able to start with a fairly short notice once we're ready with the contracts. So we're actually quite far, and we might be live with these early next year. Currently, we have built the kind of model so that we don't need an initial investment. So we're able to start this business without an investment. But of course, then that means that we need to scale it a bit slower. We're actually now negotiating a deal where we might start this with a big bang rather than sneaking into the market. So quite close in finalizing the discussions in most of the key areas.
Cool. Anu, so what I recommend is listen to the recording of this session. I took a few notes. We'll talk about it, but you can see from some of the questions you clarified it pretty straight on. So that would be good to just have that on your slides for the upcoming demo day.
Grant, can I maybe give a note, or we don't have time for this?
Please, you of course represent a big insurance company in Israel, so I cannot skip you.
Sounds perfect.
So first, I want to congratulate you on a very clear presentation, and the need is very clear, and the market is very big, and those are big thing. You also have a good state. You're in a fantastic state if you have like contracts waiting up for execution. This is fantastic. We have to remember that if you are speaking with a general audience of investors, let's say the demo day, insurance is not as fascinating subject as many, and you have to actually maybe story tell your business with a little spice. I would start with a story. This is the new couple. They bought a new apartment. Now they are decorating. They're very happy, and they have to take they have to buy an insurance. The fact that you have almost ready-made product and we didn't see it, we didn't see not even a single slide of it. That's, I think, a shame, because I think it's super interesting. And I hear that it is custom fit and custom made for the customer. But is it is it is someone else can copy this?
Yes, and that is the challenge why I'm a bit kind of drawn back with what I can share, especially because these are recorded.
Yeah,
so
I understand completely. That's
yeah.
A good answer. But you have to just give us a little glimpse, or say what we are doing is as actually you have to put some color into it and some and attract the attention of the listeners. This is also, is it highly regulated? Is there any boundaries for entry? What is unique about it? What is like the sustainable business advantage or technology advantage that you have here? You talked about a gaming, a chat box. I never saw anything. You can show me in visual things that I cannot see in words, and never finish without a call for action. So even if you don't need money, maybe you need something else. We are looking for insurance companies that are ready to hook up to our, or we're looking for connections, or we're looking um, for discounts, or we're looking for you to push like on our Facebook, some kind of call to action, because this is an opportunity. Every pitch is an opportunity, and you have to mind the time also. I think it's important.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Very relevant comments.
Brief comment from myself as well. This is very much an execution game, and this whole area is not very well known to most investors, I'm afraid. So it's okay that you pitch to investors now, but you have to tell them that you're not looking for investment yet, but you will be soon, once you have the numbers and you can show how the machine works, how you're able to ramp up sales and how much money you make from each sale, etc., etc. You know, how the machine works. Mm-hmm. That's very important in this case.
Absolutely, and it's a totally scalable product.
Just one short remark, Anu. I would, personally, I would prefer slides that's only text slides. You know, if you talk about the ecosystem, then show us the ecosystem currently and your future perspective. You know, and exactly if you will be, if you will be better on price, on what categories, how, you know, how, what is then your magic secrets that you can, and you know, some also timeline, how not only in euro on whatever, but also in the development of the company, different steps that we can understand where you now and where you will be in the next 6 months. And just personal remark, if have you heard about Community Life?
Not that one, no.
Yeah, just look, it's a Germany-based online insurance company for unemployment and disability, and was founded by Claudia Lang, a very smart lady, which used to work for a very long time in the insurance industry. So maybe it will be helpful for you also in the first.
Good point. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing. We wrote this down.
Absolutely.
Really, thank you very much. And now you understand why I put Anu first, because I didn't want you all to fall asleep at the end. No disrespect, actually, Anu's product is amazing. One of the most scalable potentials I've seen in all our waves. So definitely great. Jaakko, you have 10 minutes, and I don't want to leave you with insurance. I want to give you a little bit of more party life and spice. So you can start listening to Mia's presentation, and if you need to drop off, there will be the recording, and we can also take it further. Mia's based actually in Helsinki, so.
Oh, yeah, very good.
Go ahead, Miia. We can't hear you. You're on mute, perhaps. No sound, Miia.
Yeah, this is the Corona Classics here.
Okay.
You can see my screen?
Yep.
Great. So, talking about interesting content here, I'm here to present our startup that is called Eventual. But first, maybe a few words about myself. So my name is Miia Khan, and I am CEO and the founder of Eventual. And formerly, I was working in the field of marketing communications and PR. I was working in one of the leading consultancies in the Nordics called Milton. And I was there as a partner and a director. And now I have been working on this startup that we registered in August quite tightly. And things are getting really excited here at our end. But like for you to get an idea what we're talking about here, we're building a totally new innovation for events scene. So this is a topic that is touching us all human beings, because we love to live our life and experience as much as we can throughout our life. So wait. So we're building something that gives people a permission to influence, promote, build communities, support the acts that they feel passionate about. And
Miia, are you still on the first slide? Because we don't see the slide moving.
You don't see?
No.
Still not?
We see the slide, but it's the first slide. I wasn't sure if you were moving to the second slide.
Okay, this is...
Maybe reshare.
Now?
Yep. Now,
okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So basically we want us to be part of the events scene, because nowadays the whole event business works quite conservatively, and there hasn't been any like innovative happening in the scene. So we want to bring something new. And at the moment, due to the COVID, the events scene and the industry is really like screaming for new innovation and something interesting that can boost the business that was actually growing before the COVID. So the problem why we started working on this field was that we felt that there is a disconnect between demand and supply in the events domain. And this comes from a very personal need as well. We are a family of 4, or I am in a family of 4, and we don't get to go out too often. And when we do go out, we want to experience something absolutely spectacular. And we felt that it doesn't happen every time that you go out, that it's the most spectacle event of the year, and start to feel that there should be some sort of a platform where you can influence what kind of acts are taking place in your home city. And that was how Eventual was born. Can you now see me?
Yep.
Okay, great, because there is something that it keeps pausing my presentation for some reason. So basically, the problem is can be taken look at from different perspectives. It's a perspective from the venues point of view. It's a very risky business to book an act. So all promoters, venues, even organizers, they are lacking foresight into how well an event would sell. So they first need to book an act, and then they need to market and do all these PR activities, which are quite costly, to find out if an act is interesting or not. So it might be that sometimes you end up booking an act that doesn't sell at all, and then it's a risky business. People, on the other hand, we consumers, we lack the influence over who performs in our town. At the moment, there isn't really tools for voting or booking acts. So it's we are relying on these promoters at this stage. And most importantly, the acts deserve a fair, stable income. And if this business is risky for the promoters and it's risky for the venues, in the end, it is going to impact the bookings. So this is the current model, how this event scene is working. So there's a lot of happening before we people actually get to experience something. So there are promoters and venues conducting acts and doing a lot of marketing to produce an event that is then catered to people. And too often, as a consumer, you end up going to a gig that isn't too popular. And then it's kind of like the whole energy is missing if there are very few people present at the event. So basically what Eventual is all about, we are a crowdfunding platform that allows people to campaign for acts they want to see. And this is not only about music, it can be stand-up comedy, it can be social media celebrity, it can be a chef, sommelier, photographer, it can be a performance artist. Sky's the limit for the content. And I think that this COVID is basically putting us into a situation which is creating this pressure pot where people are really like hungry for different types of events. And I think that what is going to happen after this pandemic is that there is demand for all sorts of live events because everybody has been on virtual and it's quite different format for experiencing. So we have a feeling that this is a perfect opportunity for us. And now
was this clear to you guys so far?
Offline or online events? Or both?
Doesn't really matter. Our focus would be on offline events because like for some acts, it is important to create that energy in a venue and we want the venues to do well. So we're basically like bringing this innovation so that the venues would do better and the acts would do better. But we're not really depending on like whether it's a virtual or live format, it doesn't matter. The main idea is that we get these underground cultures out there. So these kind of like crowdfunding platforms are familiar for things. For instance, Indiegogo or Kickstarter. They are like, for instance, bicycles that are produced only after getting the funds for that. But now we're utilizing the same idea for the events scene. So basically, whether it's a venue or a consumer, the user creates a campaign and make sure that this campaign gets enough attention from like-minded people who are backing up the act. And if the campaign becomes successful, then a venue or a promoter can basically take this pool of people and arrange this event without taking any risk in the act booking or artist booking. The venue doesn't need to do any marketing or PR efforts to market this event because we already have the people who have paid the ticket. And then we issue the tickets only when the campaign is successful and the event will be arranged. So there is no back and forth paying and repaying people. So the whole vision is that because of eventual, venues don't have to take risks when they are booking. People actually have a tool to influence and get to experience everything that they have ever dreamed of, and acts will be fairly paid. And we're a dynamic team behind Eventual at the moment, but we are now hiring people into our team. So it's basically me as a founder, CEO. Uzer is our CTO, has built the beta version of this platform, so it exists. And then we have an anonymous team member that we can't present as a name because he comes from a very much from the events industry and from one of the biggest players globally. So at some point we can reveal his name. And today we're actually discussing with another team member. So we're hopefully growing very fast here. And then you might be thinking, who are we up against with? And if we take a look at the eventscape, like from a traditional point of view, you could say that we're disrupting Live Nation's business, but we can also feel that there can be a possibility to collaborate with them. One of the competitors is Eventbrite, can be seen, but direct competitor who would have exactly same kind of a business model doesn't exist in Europe. In Korea there is one, but it is mainly focused on music. So we see this as a great opportunity to create this also to a European market. And the go-to-market strategy is such that we're now working on the brand that will see the daylight in the beginning of the year. And we're planning to launch in April latest, so that we're ready for the summer when the vaccines are available. But before that, we're very strongly building PR around this. So we're working closely together with the event industry, the players there, and the acts, artists, and influencers to gain visibility for our service. And so far, the feedback has been phenomenal. The event industry is super happy to get this kind of an innovation that is definitely needed, because this would boost the business for all the players of the industry. So it's something that, for instance, here in Finland, Tapahtumateollisuus ry has been very happy to hear about. And our vision for the future is quite ambitious. So we are going to grow rapidly, because this is very scalable idea that once we are done with the pilot here in Helsinki, we hopefully are all set to then launch in several markets next year. So you can see here a little bit like what we're aiming to do. So fast growth is what we are looking for, because we feel that this is a very scalable idea. We basically need some representatives on like each local market, but once the platform is there, we can launch it in several markets at the same time. And here are some financial forecast numbers, just for you to see that like what kind of numbers we're talking about in the upcoming years. So here we have presented 5 years so that you can see. And these figures we have estimated even quite pessimistically. So we have taken kind of like just music industry numbers here. But we need to take into consideration that our platform is so much more than just music. So, but we needed to count something. So this demonstrates a little bit what kind of growth we're talking about. Is this something that like was clear, or are you scratching your heads at what is this platform all about?
Jaakko, any final comment? You're off.
No, not really. I think this is a numbers game again. I've seen some cases like this in the past, and they have struggled to take off, but hopefully you get it up and running.
So maybe I'll add a few notes.
Thank you. That would be amazing and much needed.
So first, let me first congratulate you on a wonderfully designed slide show. It was very, very nice, very calm. I think you can do a lot. You can have like a lot of tips maybe to draw more attention. So this is actually, it took you a very long time to get to the solution that it is actually crowdfunding for an event. The problem is actually is very clear. I saw that you are connecting the event with the venue. I didn't see the artist, or let's say that I want to see Coldplay playing again live. I can create like a crowdfunding for their event, but do I have Coldplay agreeing with me? Or do I have to get the artist or Jamie Oliver to cook for me, or I don't know what else you had in mind? But do I have to take them or to take this under consideration when I begin this process? And there are a lot of platforms existing at the moment. You mentioned 2 of them, Indiegogo and Kickstarters, but there's a lot of others that is actually promoting anything from demonstration to a nonprofit, and there's a lot of things that already exist in the market. You mentioned that you almost have something running. Do you have any mock-up to show us? I would love to see that. And
maybe let her answer the first few questions, like
sorry,
the artist.
Yeah, so basically when you create the campaign, you don't need to worry about anything at that stage. So the platform is very simple, and we want to keep it very simple so that it's very easy to understand. And basically for a consumer, you create a profile. So for consumers, it is behaving slightly differently than for the professional profiles, such as venues or acts themselves. So initially, we will do that work behind manually, and after the pilot, we fine-tune the details so that the whole process works behind the scenes perfectly. So you as a campaign creator don't have to worry anything about the booking or the event production.
What about the artist? If I want to create an event for Coldplay to play for like concert, can I do it?
You can, but in the beginning, we're not targeting for A-list artists, but maybe for more underground and mid-tier artists. But once the promoters find our platform, this is a perfect for matchmaking. So they get visibility what kind of artists or acts in general are needed, and hopefully find it as a perfect tool for artist booking.
I see.
Yeah, I have also a question. I'm not from the industry at all, but somehow the platform is living from traction. You need both sides, users and artists. So far, very clear. And how do you will to start? You are looking in the first step for users, for artists. I mean, check chicken and egg problem somehow. Yeah, where to start to get the first deal done?
Yeah, we're starting with venues. So we're already now in contact with the venues, because
venues are the clubs, basically.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah, so venues we're going to collaborate with, and then certain acts are going to be next in line, because this is of course very helpful tool for promoting their own content. And then there are also these event industry associations that we're going to partner up with, because we are very much aware of the fact that this requires a lot of users. So my background in PR is very much helpful at this stage when we are negotiating with the partners.
Basically, you've been, what was it, 13, 14 years in marketing and communication, and you have a huge network here in Finland, right, to get this started?
Yeah.
Plus, you love electronic music, so this probably will be your first act.
Yeah, my personal interest is electronic music indeed, but we also have a lot of other passions that we feel strongly about. So we would discuss with all the venues that are active here in Helsinki for the pilot. And because we have an existing connection with many, I think that so far, everybody who we have pitched this platform for, they have found this idea fabulous and something that is very much needed. So I think that when the product is good, you don't have to sell it too much. You just need to find the right partners to collaborate with.
All the best.
Thank you.
Very good, Miia. I would put in a little bit more of a story when we come to the demo day, towards the demo day. Perhaps really starting with you're a mother and family, and once in a while when you do go out with your husband alone, you want to make it a memorable night, obviously. So and we, most parents, we do quite relate to that, for sure. And if I could be part of making Coldplay happen, that would be awesome. Me plus all the crowd around me, we made it happen. That's so it could be a really fantastic event, right?
Yeah, there are so many underground cultures that I just deserve to be seen. And personally, I would also love to have Massimo Bottura cooking for like a group of friends or such. So we feel that it's really interesting to see what people feel passionate about.
This is what you should start with. You should say, can you imagine Jamie Oliver or cooking at your kitchen, or something that will inspire people and just grab them for a second, and you have their attention. You have it only for a few seconds. Then you have to actually pitch and give the call to action in the end. What are you looking for? Is it money? Is it connections? Is it and as far as you can, bring life into this dream and actually show us some mock-up of this, how does it look like? What's the flow? Where are we going to? And this is actually it will actually tattoo in our brain this vision of yours.
Thank
Very
you.
good.
Take this advice.
Demo day is December 16, so I do hope you can join us, both Tatjana and Michael, as a guest audience. And they have still a few weeks now to sharpen the pitch for sure. And this is what they need now: your feedback, most of all. But let's move on. We're doing well with time. Let's take our little crazy entrepreneur. I like to call her the crazy one, right? Karla, if you allow me.
Thank you.
So I always have, in every wave, I have a crazy one. And Karla, you're the crazy one for me. So, and I mean it in a very positive sense. You have to be a bit crazy to change the world, right?
That is definitely true.
So, but yeah, you've had an insanely amazing week. Just hearing from it, and it gave me goosebumps. So, tell us a little bit about your week while you're putting your slide on, and yeah, you're in Berlin at the moment, right?
Yes, that's right. I'm in Berlin, and my last weekend was in fact very crazy. Because there was the AccFM, which is like an female entrepreneurship ideation hackathon. There were 70 women selected, and I brought my idea to that hackathon, and I won it, and I'm still in shock. So that just as a disclaimer. I can show
Last month she had an idea. She was not even part of the accelerator program, and today she's winning a hackathon. Insane.
Yeah, it's definitely insane. All right, so let me show what I showed also at the hackathon, and just like pitch, and then I love to hear your feedback. So imagine you're applying for a visa and then it gets denied because, as it turns out, the AI bot behind it is racist. Or you're applying for a loan and you did so, for example, with the Apple Card, and Apple Card discriminates female applicants and gives them 20% less money than any male applicant. Or you want to apply for a job, and then there's a screening bot, and the screening bot, like at Amazon, decides that it's better to have male applicants for IT jobs. And you're really like, how can this be? This is not at all how we want the world to be. And you hear the excuse that it's the AI, we can't do anything. And the problem is we can do something because all these AI models have been trained on biased data. And if we were to turn that around, we could have AI that is actually helping us. These AIs, they need bias-free data. Bias-free data wants to enable data scientists to build bias-free AI models and thereby unlock business opportunities for the companies. So let's look at the problem with data bias. First of all, the AI models amplify the bias. So it doesn't just stay the same like it is in the data set already, it gets amplified, it gets worse. As a consequence of that, all these recommendations that we get from the AI models, they're unfavorable. They're not the best recommendations you should do for your business. And if this becomes public, you even face reputation damage and have some fines. And in fact, 9 out of 10 organizations recognized that there was some AI system involved in some ethical issues in their business. So the threat is there. People know it's not good. So bias-free data wants to make AI models more fair and unlock those business opportunities by offering bias-free data sets. And we want to focus specifically on transaction data because all global business processes are recorded as transaction data. When you apply for a job, when you buy something, when you send back a package, when you have a bank transfer, all that is transaction data. And we have 2 tiers. So we will offer curated training sets, so you can purchase a bias-free data set specific to your domain and your use case. And at the same time, we will do AI model rating. So we will feed these AI models that companies submit with bias-free data, and then evaluate their performance and give them like a Michelin star rating. So they can build trust with their customers as well. The market spending for AI will double to $110 billion in the next 4 years only. So companies will put money into an AI. Why I'm really so passionate about this? Because we believe technology should benefit us humans, both consumers and businesses, and shouldn't hold us back. My background is I'm a senior product manager at a global software as a service company. I've been in the Berlin startup scene for the past 10 years. I was among the top 10 finalists at RAM, which is a global LGBT plus leadership contest. I have also completed LGBT plus diversity training. I'm a trained coach for people affected by anti-Semitism and discrimination. I was accepted, as you can see, as one of 4 women in a female founders program of Accelerator Frankfurt. I won the pitch competition, and I have applied with a high-tech seed lab and entrepreneur first. So it's me currently. I'm looking for the co-founder, and I have luckily very good support from both Ram and Maria, but also my network who helped me with the technical side of things. And the business model looks like this. We want to be a data commerce platform and do the model rating. So we will sell bias-free data sets specific to domains. And of course, it depends on the volume and the complexity of those data sets, how much we charge. And for updates to those data sets, we will also charge extra. And then we will test and rate AI models, and there will be a fee for certificate, and it will be only valid for 6 months because AI models can change rapidly and they need to be continuously audited. So if you look at the competition at the moment, there's a lot of synthetic data startups, and they claim to do something also about bias, but it's not their focus, and they're more about synthesizing the data. The current data marketplaces lack a total focus on bias, and the quality of data sets is absolutely unclear. Then there's another company, they have the focus on computer vision and deep learning, so not the transaction data. And also their focus is more on the production monitoring of the models. And there's Unbiased CC. They have a focus on data annotation and privacy and fake news, and they use the blockchain to solve that. So a very different approach. And my go-to-market plan is that we're currently in the validation phase. So we're trying to build a proof of concept and have like pilots with other companies to build and to run with us. I want to, of course, win the first paying client very early in the next year and target data scientists and engineers, and then build partnerships and scale the platform internationally for more domains and for more use cases. And let's make the future bias free. Thank you.
Very nice.
Cool.
And this is how you pitch.
Oh my God. Thank you.
This is how it should, this is the storytelling that we should do. You should start with the image. You should draw the audience in. You should grab their attention. You went almost, I missed a little bit the call to action in the end, but it was wonderful. And I really, really understand now why you won. This is beautiful and so important and very, 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 very nice.
Thank you. That means a lot.
Questions, comments?
Thank you. It was very good. Also, my comment is very positive. I would like to understand a little bit more the products. What exactly your approach to do, and who or what kind of organizations you see as the buyers, and where are the sources of income you so far you can predict?
Yeah. So the problem is that companies need data to train their AI models. They can use their own data, which contains bias, and they need a lot of skill sets to clean it of this bias and a lot of time. So we would target companies like, for example, startups that don't have the data at all, or they have data and that's biased, or larger company that don't have the specific data sets that they need, like additional to their own ones, because they want to develop a new business model. And again, they don't have the skills to really, or they don't have the awareness of bias and how to find it in data sets. So we will have already found the bias and put the data sets out there. And it's basically a marketplace where you can say, okay, I need data on this and this. And then you look and you grab those and you put it in the basket and buy it. That's the very general approach. And of course, you would like to receive updates to those data sets, like more current data. And then you can purchase those as well and subscribe to, let's say, the domain or the use case. And if you look at the model rating, as I said, we would issue a certificate and say, this is a bias-free AI model of the quality, let's say 3 stars. And then it's valid for 6 months, and then it needs to be re-evaluated. And again, they need to pay a fee for us to give them the stars. And it's like a quality seal for their AI model to build the trust with the customers.
Okay.
Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you. And what are your sources for data?
Yeah, so we will start to train on open data. So we will gather whatever we can get from open data. And then what I can imagine is that we could either take the existing data sets from the marketplaces and make them higher quality by getting the bias out of them, since we have the knowledge in-house, and then sell those. We could also do it on a, like, I'm just, imagining now, we can even do it on a commission basis where companies say, okay, here's all my data, make it bias free. And then we synthesize it and give that company an opportunity to even sell their own data, but it's synthesized. And this way it's has no GDPR issues. It's no PII in there.
And what are the reasons that the companies wants to make the data bias free, or how do you call this? Yeah, bias free.
Yeah, bias free. The reason is that first of all, this huge reputation damage, and there is a lot of things going on at the moment with regulation. So I expect pretty soon that there will also be legal things where you have to be compliant and you have to check things, or you have to pay fines.
It's not.
So far it's not, exactly. Okay. So far, it's more a business case where you are saying, if these AI models that I train, for example, with a very skewed data set where there's 70% male and only 30% female, but my actual customer base is a different one, then I'm training my model in the wrong direction, and it will make business decisions for me that are not good for my business. And you have to correct that, but you don't know how. So with just the gender, it's probably easy. But if it's muddled and you have a lot of proxies in your data, then you need the expertise to make it bias-free, so you don't have business cases that are lost because you just don't have the recommendations from the AI.
Okay. I think you said something, Karla, that the AI models, they actually amplify the bias.
Yeah, exactly.
What exactly do you mean there?
So, for example, you have a slight difference in, let's take a very easy example, in the distribution of how many females were taken for that job and how many males were taken for that job. But then what comes out with the learning, the AI basically decides every time a female comes, she's automatically less equipped to take that job. So it just makes that occurrence in the data set, makes it a general rule, and doesn't look at the skills of that person. And this way it's amplified, so you will always give men a better chance, not looking at their skills, with this biased screening bot, for example.
Very good.
So and now you're looking for money, or what is you are for the last 10 years in the fintech industry in Berlin. So I can imagine that you are have access to VCs, and your network is not so bad. So what is your current status? You are in the looking already for the first friends and family round, or you are...
Watch out, Tatjana is getting an interest here.
What exactly status?
Yeah, I like that you're asking. That's also, Michael, why there was no specific ask at the end of my slide. So currently I applied for programs where I can be part of to develop the idea further and really have the first prototype out there, a working one, where I have numbers, I have traction, I have engagement. And then when I have that down, then I want to come back to you and ask for money. Right now, it's really, I want to get my game together and have some people support me there. So if you have like really interesting people that I should talk to because they have a nice use case, I love that. I don't want your money at the moment.
But
like us on Facebook is also a call to action.
Okay, okay. I have to make a Facebook page first.
Yes, if you're creating a community for that manner.
Or her Twitter handle is here on the screen. But Karla, you're so the program that you're applying is actually a grant, right? You get paid.
Yes.
Focus on
it's a government grant, 10-month program next year, and I would get paid. So that's why I'm not so much after money. I'm more like smart money in the sense that I need people and connections and those. Yeah.
And that's very important, that you actually get free money. You don't need to give away any equity at this stage.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. Thank you so much.
One slide I would add maybe would be the market spending on AI. Perhaps get a graph on that. And when you looked at the competitive analysis, your competitors, maybe show where you stand, because you did say it, you mentioned it, but maybe somehow show where you stand. I can show you some examples.
Thank you.
That was great. Tatjana, just one small remark. I'm very jealous of the sunshine on your shirt. I have not seen the sunshine for quite some time. So every time I have a Zoom call, oh, sunshine.
Yeah, it's Munich today. We have a sunny weather.
Oh, yeah, don't tell me, it's very dark where I am at the moment. Okay, last but not least, from the sauna, but in Germany, right?
Yes.
So Hanna, please give us a small intro about yourself and while you put the slides on.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Hanna Kekkonen. I'm a data professional working in a big chemical corporate at the moment. And I'm very happy to be here in the accelerator program because I was always kind of a corporate entrepreneur. So I was always coming up with new solutions within the corporate. And now I'm trying to see if my ideas also have some weight outside the corporate. So this is why I'm here today. I'm also here today as a mother. So I have 3 kids, and my big daughter is 14 years old. She's a vegetarian, and she's really worried about the future. So why should she go to school if there is no planet in 50 years? So I'm really worried, to be honest, and I want to do something for the cause of sustainability. With a chemical background, of course, there is a huge business opportunity also in the context of circular economy. So this is why what we are looking at, the idea is Pillar, the waste discovery platform.
I like that you write there, mother and founder.
Yes, nice. This is the mother point is really, I think the fathers are also very worried, but now we are in the female founders program, so I say mother. So, yeah, what's the product? So Pillar is actually the eBay for waste. It is a matchmaking platform in the first phase, and we are actually selling trustworthiness. The partners that comes into the platform will be have transparency and be sure that the waste they are giving in will not end in a land hole in Africa. The second phase, once we have the matchmaking ongoing and we have enough companies on the platform, will be data monetization. So the last 5 years, I mentioned I'm a data professional, and I have been driving the transformation in the corporate where I'm working, a big transformation called data to value. So I basically know really a lot of aspects of data sharing, data governance, data platforms, everything about data. So this is where I see big potential once we have a critical mass of companies joining the platform. Let's go to the basic problem that we want to focus on. First of all, circular economy is really complex, and we are looking at increasing regulations and also circular economy action plan within the Green Deal from EU. So this will be increasingly mandatory to take care about your product portfolio. And here we are really focusing on waste, and that's complex enough. So companies, the problem we want to focus on when we approach this is really the companies that needs to get rid of their waste. So maybe the waste they are getting rid of have more value than they know. So the waste could actually be the new revenue stream. We will of course connect collectors in the platform to collect the waste. We will connect recyclers that maybe can add some components to the waste that it can be used for new purposes. And in the end, also producers will search for new raw materials that are not virgin raw materials. So this is a complex topic, and the problem is the complexity. So it's a lot of effort to manage your waste. So the mission pillar is effortless waste management. And I have to be honest here, the idea is very in an early stage. So we are learning really a lot every week, and we are looking on what could be a different value propositions in this waste ecosystem. So let me make this a little bit less complex to you. So if you imagine the platform itself, so I will have a nicer prototype next week, so we are working on it. But if you are a company, you would log into this platform and ask yourself, where is the way collectors that could be interested in my products in my region? What is the prices? Do they have a pickup service? And then you have collectors that are looking for recycles. Where can they sell the waste they are collecting and get different offers? And then you also have the companies that search for raw materials. So it's a little bit like the platform that brings a lot of transparency, and the current players that maybe focuses on the waste side, they don't really like the transparency, but we think this would really accelerate the circular economy thinking, and it's needed. I recently also talked to a collector, so Globe Hope in Finland, who is collecting textile waste, and here also she told me that the value that the company who gives the waste to the collector is actually that they are getting a report. So the branding value of it, that your brand is taking care of your waste, and you know, as a brand, the waste I give, this was textile waste, so the waste I give away becomes rubber boots. So it's not waste, it's used for something else. So the companies themselves might not care about circular economy, which is also a niche discussion, but the branding value and the push of increasing awareness from the consumers will increase the demand. So here is a little bit update from last week. So we have really the problem where to start. So if you compare to last week, we have been able to restrict a little bit our scope. So we have been looking into Rubicon and looking to their sections, and we want to start focusing left side on the commercial waste materials. So textiles is really interesting. Cardboard is also interesting. We know that there is big demand for this material, so it could be a good place to start. We also look for the Finnish models, because Nordic countries are a little bit forth running, because in smaller countries you do more explorative and experimenting work with this new models, and we want to see if we can copy some of these Finnish setups and try them out in Germany. In Denmark also we are checking into FAXE, and we try to imitate this platform manually before we, let's say, build a MVP. So just call the different stakeholders and ask about their difficulties and problems. So there is a small city called Faxe in Denmark, and they have the Haribo candy factory and the Faxe brewery, and we will try to imitate the platform manually in this city. So we learned also, compared to last week, a little bit more about the competition, but we definitely need to work more also on this side. So for textiles, for example, there is an Estonian startup called Reverse Resources, and their focus is upcycling. So they are trying to figure out what kind of new usage could be developed from textile waste. Also, there is for a specific niche of plastics, a platform called Polymore, but I visited their homepage, and it's not really clear even on their homepage what the mission is. So I can learn from that how not to make my own homepage when we are so far. In Finland, it's interesting, there is something called Materiaalitori, because since 1st of January 2020, I learned it's obligatory for the Finnish companies to register their waste. So it's a platform from the government who is exactly doing what we are planning to do. So give the companies the opportunity to register their waste and then connect them with waste buyers and services. So this platform is not really much used because the marketing is not really good and the awareness is not yet there, but it's a good model to look into. Okay, at the moment we are not yet a company, we are more like a project team, and I can notice there is big hype with the circular economy, because it's no problem to get enthusiastic stakeholders to work in this early project phase. Of course, we have to look later on how with start a real company with which stakeholders. So, but we have Nordic people, we have technical expertise, we have sustainability and digitalization expert and deep chemical knowledge, and of course the female founders program with this great mentoring. And the plan, like I said in the start, is really to start with matchmaking and then move into data monetization, because this is really interesting then when you start learning which waste is not easily matched. This could be then, these insights could be offered to technology startups, chemical innovation stakeholders. You could offer a regulations tracker as an add-on service. You could also involve designers to say, hey, this procedures creates a lot of waste. Can we change the design so that the waste is not produced at all in the first place? So we are now doing a lot of pitch preparation, and in December we will also pitch this idea at the Chemovator. This is the incubation unit, digital incubation unit of BASF. So it's possible maybe to do the first 2 years within this incubation unit in that context and further develop. But of course, I'm getting more and more convinced about this topic, and I would also love to have the opportunity to work full-time on this topic. So this is what I'm looking for, and then have 1 or 2 full-time partners on board in the starting phase. So this is also new from, didn't have this last week, and just before this session we prepared this together with Sean and Lena. So we have like the initial hypothesis of what the financial growth plan could look like. So we are basically looking on the average waste in volume, what is produced from typical small and medium-sized businesses, and then we take just a very conservative part of that calculation, and try to calculate how this could grow from 1 year to another. So we want to start maybe with Kiel or something like that. So focus on one region and start with the commercial business lines that I mentioned earlier. So cardboard, metal, glass, paper, plastic, textiles, and then start with a transactional fee. So this will probably change later on. So once we have more permanent visitors on the web page and we grow, so like Amazon or Alibaba, then you typically change into a subscription fee. But in the start, probably a transactional fee would be the best way to start. So this is where we are. So we are basically, like I said, in an early idea phase, but we believe here is a lot of potential, and we are managing to narrow the scope week to week. So I believe that for the pitch session, the 16th, we are even more clear than now. So yeah, excited to hear your feedback.
Very good. Yes, look, Hanna, I know the business for already many weeks, so I'm ahead of the mentors. I'm sure they will have comments seeing it first on, but personally, I think you're making great progress, and seeing this, which is a slide I wouldn't recommend using on a pitch, but I see that it brings now the business model into perspective, and probably you're going to need maybe a sales VP of sales per region, and once these regions are onboarded, it's pretty scalable and automated. But you need to basically, I see you're putting one region on the first year, then scaling it to two regions. I don't know if it's two more regions or it's two regions second year and so forth. But it makes sense to go about it that way. Quick question on slide 7. You stopped numbering your slides a bit later on, but I thought I saw slide 7. Right. Yeah, this. So what is this German map? What do we see here?
Sorry, I forgot to mention. So we are just looking on the political climate as well. So the green dots, this is the part where the people vote for the Green Party. So of course, also we discussed last week that we also need to, let's say, involve government, and we need regulations and look into this. And this just shows where the political climate is good. For example, in Kiev or Kiel is called Kiev on top.
Yeah, Kiel.
Close to Denmark. So this is what we are also considering, because we will need also push if we start in a city, maybe from the cities and government, because everybody's eager to, let's say, contribute to the Green Deal, and this is important for the green voters as well. So this is how we are trying to connect this.
Mentors?
Michael, you first, Michael.
I'm very much impressed by the research that you've made here. It's very, very interesting. I am puzzled about the client, because I think it's either institutions or factories or someone who's really collecting a lot of waste. And I never heard about a waste marketplace, and I think it's innovative enough to work. There is a lot of different needs. For example, metal is quite easily sold. Also paper, plastic is more complex, and other materials are more complex. And plastic is the main problem. So having on the one hand the who are the customers? Are those customers are paying for each and every transactions? If they're big enough, do they really need a waste marketplace? And on the other hand, the materials and the problematic waste that nobody is actually running to buy. Because it's an old enough problem. There are islands in the oceans made out of plastic, so we know that it's not actually collected and dealt with properly. So these are the forces that I see around this very innovative idea of waste marketplace. And I really, really wish that it will work and actually make a difference, because it's my planet as well.
So actually, sorry.
Hanna, also a small comment from my side. I'm absolutely not from this waste or recycling market, but my question is to you. Maybe I missed it. Do you have a kind of unfair advantage to understand the current market? How does it work? because I think in Germany, you are now in Germany, but I'm really very far away from the recycling market, but I think it's very much regulated. So it means municipalities and the government playing a huge role in recycling, and they are kind of also owner of some maybe logistics for this. So for me, it's like a huge opportunity if I see your slides, but to be realistic, I'm just wondering why you're approaching like a very old style regulated market. But maybe you are so disruptive, but somehow how do you want it to be disruptive? I didn't got this part, but for me personally. So so that's why maybe you know, the disruption, I didn't got this, but I think it's very difficult market. But I wish you a very much luck and success. But yeah, maybe it's the first step to understand what are the forces behind the actual current market. Yeah.
So you are completely right. So the regulations are there, but obviously you are totally right. So circular economy is a niche discussion. So this is what's, let's say, coming now within the EU Green Deal. So this is something everybody has to adapt. So also the regulations will adapt, and this is actually our big wave. So this is the mandatory push from the regulations side into circularity. And my unfair advantage is definitely the background in the chemical industry, because chemicals plays, let's say, a big enabling role for the sustainable future, because chemistry is exactly the factor that can handle the difficult recycled products. So you mentioned plastics, for example. Yes, it's complex because you have so many different ingredients in one plastics, and it's very, very difficult to make it recyclable again. And the textiles as well. So you have nature fibers, you have different components. So textile can be really complex. But this is our opportunity as a chemicals business. Exactly this. So this is definitely the unfair advantage, the big deep knowledge in chemical industry.
Okay.
Thanks. So basically, I want to a bit sum it up here, because definitely the team that Hanna has brought together are absolutely experts. Each and every one of them, they have their expertise. Not only the expertise, the contacts and the network. They're not yet entrepreneurs. They're still working in the big corporate conglomerates, and they see from the inside, they can see the big opportunities. So this is something definitely to highlight, Hanna, because you are experts, and when I've been in your calls, it's been really a pleasure to hear where it's coming from. Another thing to highlight is there is an urgency, because as Tatjana mentioned, there's regulations, and EU regulations are just going to come even more to manufacturing, to the industry, to chemicals. So definitely something to highlight. It's because this creates the opportunity. If everybody has to abide by these regulations, there's an opportunity for you to help them abide. And
yes.
Michael also mentioned, and that brings me a little bit to the focus. I don't know yet. Is it going to be agnostic? Do you want to focus like your competitors? One is focusing on textiles, the other is on plastics. So do you want to focus on that, or do you want to focus on client size? Perhaps the big clients, as Michael said, don't need a marketplace. So again, maybe just a bit of more focus on what are the clients. You can mention that in your slide, and overall clean the slides for the demo day. Now it's not the demo day. We're showing you're throwing everything at the mentors, but let's clean the slides, and that goes perhaps to everyone. But the main message of today for everybody is put a call to action. All of you, let's look for a call to action. We don't have a demo day for the fun of having a demo day. I'm actually trying to get many people to sign up to this demo day as possible. And you need a call to action. Hanna, what you want to be full-time doing this? Perhaps that's a call to action. What do you need in order for you to do this full-time? Maybe there you can come up with a call to action. Maybe you need a sponsor, you need a big client, and maybe a big investment, and so forth. So we will talk. I'll talk with each and every one of you to definitely have a call to action there, and put the logos on all of your slides. I don't know, Karla, what is your company's name? I remember it's synthetic data, but then I saw bias-free data. So just make sure you have a logo that's clear of what your company name. And I also try to avoid logos of competitors on my slides. We had a startup pitching on our demo day once, many years ago, and that picture of the pitch ended up being the front picture of one press release. And the guy was standing with the logo of his competitors behind him. So, and no name of his startup. So not the best of things to be there. Sorry for my monologue. Anything to add, guys, mentors, startups?
Thank you so much. I had a lot of very interesting presentations, and ladies, you are doing very well. Keep on track, and my personal advice would be try to get some very clear use cases, and not to be very abstract in your approach, and exercise your business based on one use case, and then if it's worked, then double and triple this, but be more on practical side somehow, and you will be successful for sure.
Amazing. Michael?
I want to say that I was very, very much impressed, and I wish you good luck on the demo day. I'll be there. I'll also invite some of the investors coming from the field of looking for insurance tech, and for other verticals as well. And as always, a pleasure. I'm gonna be at your disposal if you need me. Thank you very much for having me here.
Thank you very much. And well, Michael, Tatjana, you now know each other. Tatjana, if you need anything in Israel, Michael is probably the most connected person I know there. So him, and actually I met through Michael, I met Nimrod, who was one of our previous mentors a couple of weeks ago. So that's
so it's pleasure. Yeah.
Excellent. So thank you very much for your time, Tatjana and Michael. Thank you for the ladies for pitching, and thank you for our community for being here with us. I hope you learned some stuff today. We'll be again live streaming next Wednesday, same time, same place. See you then.